Tonight you will lock a door, pull up a blanket, and fall asleep without asking one obvious question: who is watching while you cannot? Now remove the lock, remove the walls, the mattress, the heater, the electric light, and every person you could call for help. You are lying near the back of a rock shelter tens of thousands of years ago. Smoke stings your eyes, a child shifts beside you. The fire is shrinking, then the grass moves beyond the light. Do you add more wood, wake someone, sleep in turns? Or trust that one exhausted person will hear danger before it reaches the camp? How did ancient humans survive the night when everyone needed sleep? The obvious answer is fire. Fire gave warmth, light, cooked food, and some protection from animals. But it was never a magic wall. Wind could scatter sparks, rain could weaken it, smoke could fill the shelter. And fire only stayed alive if someone kept feeding it. So before the first person slept, the group had to solve a different problem. Where should the night happen? A deep cave sounds safe until you remember that something else may already live inside it. A narrow entrance is easier to defend, but harder to escape. An open camp gives a better view, but exposes everyone to wind and cold. There was no perfect prehistoric bedroom, only a choice between different kinds of risk. And the ground was part of that choice. At Border Cave in South Africa, archaeologist Lynn Wadley and her colleagues found evidence of grass bedding dating back at least 200,000 years. People had placed broad-leafed grasses near the rear of the cave, often over layers of ash. Some old bedding appears to have been burned and replaced. That sounds like housekeeping. It may also have been defense. Grass separated bodies from cold, dirty ground. Ash may have discouraged crawling insects. Burning the old bedding could remove pests, scraps, and waste before a fresh layer went down. The first bed was not just a place to rest. It was insulation, pest control, and camp maintenance packed into one ordinary object, but there was a hidden cost. A warmer, cleaner bed made deeper sleep possible. And deeper sleep meant less attention to whatever was moving outside. The fire is lower now. A branch collapses into the embers. Perhaps the group simply chose one person to stand guard. That sounds sensible. It also creates a dangerous single point of failure. The guard had walked, gathered, carried, cooked, and watched children all day. The person responsible for keeping everyone alive might also be the person most likely to close their eyes for 10 seconds too long. So what if there was no single guard? What if the camp protected itself because its sleepers never matched? Researchers cannot observe a Stone Age camp directly, but they can study what human sleep looks like, where electric lighting and rigid clock schedules play a much smaller role. In 2015, Gandhi Yetish and colleagues measured sleep among the Hadza in Tanzania, San communities in Namibia, and Tsimane people in Bolivia. You might expect people without electric light to fall asleep at sunset and remain unconscious until dawn. They did not. Sleep usually began hours after sunset, as the night cooled. People talked, maintained fires, cared for children, and moved in and out of sleep. Darkness did not switch off the whole group at once. Then a later Hadza study found something remarkable. David Sampson and his colleagues monitored 33 adults for 20 days. Across the entire study, all 33 were scored as asleep at the same time for only 18 minutes. For 99.8% of the sampled night, at least one person was awake or in very light sleep. No bell announced a shift. No captain assigned a watcher. Different bodies created the schedule. Some people naturally stayed awake later, others woke earlier. Age helped spread those sleep times apart. Brief awakenings overlapped. The restless elder, the waking parent, and the light sleeper together produced something that looked like a living alarm system. This does not prove that every ancient group slept this way. Modern hunter-gatherers are not fossils, and wrist monitors cannot tell us exactly what one person was thinking in the dark. But the pattern reveals a possibility that one campfire alone cannot explain. The night watch may not have been a job. It may have emerged from human difference. That changes the meaning of a noisy camp. A child waking up was not only a disturbance. An older adult rising before the others was not simply a poor sleeper. Someone talking late beside the fire was not necessarily wasting time. Their different rhythms reduced the moments when nobody was listening. And those late conversations may have protected more than the camp boundary. Anthropologist Polly Wiesner studied conversations among Jew/Honsi communities in southern Africa. Daytime talk focused heavily on practical work and immediate social matters. Around the evening fire, stories, songs, distant people, and shared memories became more important. Again, this is not a recording from prehistory, but it shows what firelight can do after the workday ends. Stories keep some people awake. They teach children what danger sounds like. They preserve routes, relationships, animal behavior, and the memory of what happened the last time someone ignored a warning. The fire was not only burning wood. It was keeping knowledge awake. By the coldest part of the night, only red coals may have remained. Most of the camp was asleep. But perhaps one person was feeding a baby. Another had not yet finished a story. And older adults had already begun to wake. Someone heard the grass move and raised their head, not a perfect guard, a layered system, location-reduced exposure. Bedding controlled cold, dirt, and insects. Fire provided heat, light, and a shared center. Different sleep rhythms kept awareness from disappearing completely. Stories carried useful information across generations. Any one layer could fail. Together, they gave the night several chances to go right. So how did ancient humans survive while they slept? Not because they conquered darkness. They survived by refusing to face it as isolated individuals. Tonight, your bedroom hides the same problem under thousands of years of solutions. The lock replaces the defended camp edge. The mattress replaces gathered grass. Heating replaces fuel collection. Smoke alarms, weather forecasts, hospitals, police, and electrical systems remain awake beyond your walls. Modern sleep feels private only because an enormous human network is protecting it. In a moment, you may close your door and switch off the light. The darkness will still arrive. But while you sleep, something is still watching. The only question is this: in that ancient camp, would you have been the first person asleep? Or the one still listening beyond the fire?